Hi, how are you? So the government shut down, there's no work.
You still have work and you can school.
Yeah, that is true. I work at NIAIH. There's 27 different institutes. I work in NIAID, National Institute for Allergic and Infectious Diseases. Really working to cure AIDS. That's my goal.
You work for Dr. Fauci?
Yes, I do. I do know him. He's a famous guy. Yeah, he's on CNN all the time. I worked there for about 1 year, short time. Then I moved here for the MPA program at Gallaudet. But I was lucky to have that job. I was just wondering, you work in the 508 department of 508 section of the Department of Defense, right?
Section 508 coordinator for the Department of Defense, and in that job, our office works to ensure that any information technology that we buy is accessible to persons with disabilities. And there are a number of ways to go about doing that, but a lot of our job is an education role in terms of making both the IT and the acquisition people aware of the requirement that they can't just buy anything. They need to buy IT that will be accessible to persons with disabilities.
I get a lot of my equipment from CAP. Yeah, CAP Computer for Accommodation.
The CAP is a Department of Defense program. That's correct. I was talking about it earlier here. The CAP's been around for 22 years, I think, and centrally funded. And you're a perfect example of someone outside of the DoD who is actually getting their assistive technology from CAP, because CAP actually has been so successful that they are providing some technology across the government.
Well, I use it all the time, so thank you for that. NIH is really the perfect place to work for a deaf person. Incredibly deaf friendly, and I know some people that work at DoD. As far as I understand, it's a little bit more of a military environment. It's a little different than NIH. But what's your experience with people that have had disabilities working at DoD? Do they really enjoy it?
When I came into the government, the office I worked in, there was a woman with, she was legally blind, and she had a large screen and screen readers. Technology of 91, technology certainly improved a lot since then. But she was very successful in the office and really enjoyed it. And I worked very closely with a fellow named Mark Root from the CAP office and REW. And he is the chief of the blind low vision team there. And he's terrific and been such a help to me in my office in terms of helping us, connecting us with people who are having difficulties. A lot of times we've gotten referrals. Let's say a person with disabilities is working on a piece of software that isn't cooperating with the assistive technology. A lot of times they'll go to the CAP office. They'll go to Mark. If they're blind, they'll go to Mark because they know he works blind low vision issues. He'll bring them to me so that we can get them addressed. So we have a good relationship with the CAP, and we've been really lost without them actually, because they were great. If people don't know where to go, a lot of times they'll go first to the CAP, and then they'll come to us.
Do you mostly look for people with IT skills, technical skills? Because, for example, I have a lot of admin experience. Would that be beneficial at all?
In the department, and no disability is limiting because of the CAP program being there. Anything that you might need or any prospective employee, we would just find out from them what are the tools you use, in your daily life when it comes to the computer setting. And then we'll make sure that we can get those for you through the CAP program. But certainly, yeah, the DoD, this is absolutely a wide open area.
Recently, I was listening to a woman who was talking about how ethics relates to the purchasing for the government. And how when you think about ethics, it most definitely ties to how you purchase equipment for the government. And I thought about how that applies to my job as well. I had never really thought about that before, but because I deal with people's their personal holdings. And that can definitely relate to purchasing.
Yeah,
and I had never thought about that before.
You don't want to be buying something from a company that you own stock in, that kind of thing, where it creates at the very least an appearance of impropriety. When you talked about you went to the training for people who buy stuff, I was thinking you were going to talk about the training that GSA does. The GSA does training throughout government for purchasing officers, procurement officials, and it focuses to a great extent on Section 508, on making sure when you are creating your statement of work that you are careful to put into that the Section 508 standards that might apply. And when I was talking earlier today, I can't believe this, I left out the GSA. They're a huge player in Section 508 of the government because they have a website that you can go to, and it's an accessible website too, where you can develop a statement of work. You type in what it is you're buying, and it will produce for your language. If what you're buying is a piece of software, it will tell you when you create your statement of work, you must say Section 508 standard 1194.21 software applies to this purchase. And that way your vendor knows what's expected of them. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that ethics training that you were doing, because it was interesting to hear, and it got me on track to remember something I wanted to mention about GSA earlier.
Well, it's interesting. Not too long ago, I went to the Schedule A event. It was a hiring event last year. There was 3 different screenings. First on the phone, then email, and then finally I was approved to go. It was right here in DC. I arrived and I had 9 interviews that day, but they didn't let me know what it was. They just only told me the time of the interview. I just knew that it was for the GS level positions, but I had no clue as to what exactly the job entailed. But I was there all day. I went in and had meetings with all different people related to ethics, purchasing, AO positions, all these positions all day. And that's how they screen people through Schedule A. Just come here and meet with everybody. And then I got 3 job offers and I had to pick.